Hey guys, it's Shawnee here coming to you on this Wednesday, April 17th. Too many days have gone by. So, I did work on compiling some notes as far as kind of getting the new timeline down. We do have some notes from Seth Rogers, who has hired 2 private investigators cited from the Sheriff's Sumner County investigators. Despite the extensive search efforts at the beginning, the area of Sebastian, his home in the immediate area, was thoroughly combed through. This information comes after the release of the police dispatch, where we hear the deputy stating and talking about footprints and the ground being wet, and how these footprints, not shoe prints, are leading towards the direction of the retention pond, which was searched and drained. And noting that the ground being soft and damp. So that would have been Monday morning. Tuesday, we had some drizzle, not too bad. And then Wednesday was whenever the freeze kicked in. So February 20 was a leap year, so 28th, yeah. So on the 28th, so what would be the 29th, or rather the 1st of March, was whenever that happened. Now, on April 3rd, we note that the FBI and the Secret Service were involved in the search efforts. As I am currently reading this to you, which would be the 18th, the Secret Service is still involved and still has, they're combing through the digital information. And once these guys have everything, the longer this process takes, the better. Okay, we don't want to let those, any of that information go out there and not know what's going on. So again, as I write this, a change.org petition has been started and has garnished over 11,000 signatures. This was started by Seth Rogers in an effort for the FBI to take over the investigation, as it is now 53 days since Sebastian Rogers was missing. Now, we do have a lot of other players now, and this does lead to background and additionally some of the things that I was speaking on about the new types of dangers that Sebastian may be in. So we have Terry Bowersox Sr. This is the father of Chris Proudfoot. So we're talking about the Proudfoot clan for just a second. Then we have Carrie Guy Bowersox, which is the mother of Chris Proudfoot. Now, according to JLR Investigates, a tweet went out where he had actually spoken to Terry Bowersox Jr. And this is what Terry Bowersox Jr. had to say about his own family. It is Terry Bowersox Jr. His father is Terry Bowersox Sr. They are estranged. He moved from his family 10 years ago and wants nothing to do with the family. Most likely the stepdad. He is a piece of trash who is capable of harming a young child. According to the interview from JLR in a tweet, Chris Proudfoot is a weird dude. Kathy Bowersox is nutty, and he had only learned of Sebastian's missing days ago, so approximately 2 weeks from that initial tweet. Now, Chris did contact Seth Rogers by phone to report him as missing. We know that Seth was on shift at work and that he did not receive any text messages, alerts, or anything like that, as he had his personal items in his vehicle. I don't really know the structure of the dynamic, whether they have lockers on site or not, but I'm pretty sure like when COs go in and do their thing, they're not allowed to bring in anything except like their lunches and stuff like that. Oh, sorry. So we know that Seth was on shift and he did not receive any of these calls or these messages until he got into his vehicle after work. And this was over in Davidson County, and he is a CO. And this was around 7 a.m. Seth was also unaware that Chris Proudfoot has used physical punishment, that the Tennessee DHS or CPS had been called in retaliation to this, and like so many other things, had found out via a podcaster. As the biological father, Seth has every single right to know, regardless on whether or not the custodial agreement is this roof or this roof. He has every right to know what was going on under the roof of 1600 Stafford Court, and more of that triggering information is brought to light. We can see that Sebastian has experienced a lot more than just, say, being picked on or being socially awkward. We now have this horrible background information about this child who was SA'd by someone twice his age in a state that apparently, I don't know what their therapies are, how they treat these types of things, but what we do know is that child we don't know his name. We don't know if he got the help that he needed. And all the while, this happened on on Katie's watch. Katie and Chris. And more triggering information as that is brought to light, we can see that Sebastian has experienced more than amid the 1 month mark with no answers. According to Seth Rogers and Chris Proudfoot, whether fueled to distract from his own legal or custodial issues that were ongoing, or just out of pure cruelty, Sebastian's growing up has been weaponized directly from Chris Proudfoot and confirmed via text messages. But how does any of this help find Sebastian? And it doesn't. It's disgustingly even hard to try to wrap your head around. And the reason that it doesn't make sense to us is because we're not wired to think these behaviors are okay. They go against every type of alarm bell that goes off in your head. So to try to even wrap your head around the dynamic of their relationship and whether or not these people are capable of putting their differences aside, come to a mutual understanding, drop their other issues, and work at the task at hand. That you are a father of this child, you are a mother of this child, regardless on whether you guys fight like cats and dogs, y'all need to work together, okay? United. I don't see why there should be camp over here and camp over there. It just, the math doesn't math, and I know we are all tired of hearing these little catchphrases. But whether or not these people were capable of putting their differences aside and come to an understanding and drop their issues, it seems that the Proudfoot camp can't work with anyone. They don't want to talk to, they've been told by certain people certain things, but because of certain reasons, which are just simply untrue. We know that Chris Proudfoot was bragging in Facebook groups about how he took a polygraph test and he passed. This was a blatant lie. Anytime that somebody is real quick to be like, and let me make something clear, we are working with law enforcement. We have been cleared. We are cooperating with law enforcement. Just because you're cooperating with law enforcement, that just means like if they ask you for like, hey, we need a pair of Sebastian shoes, you give him the shoes. That's cooperating. Being argumentative and stuff like that, that is also somewhat cooperating, but in a different way. But the power dynamic of Christopher Proudfoot is so self-indulgent, and his narcissistic personality traits speak so loudly. There, a lot of Facebooks have been locked down. I was able to grab some screenshots of some things, and this guy just likes to seem like he likes to just like have fun and live his best life and kind of like hop from like, you know, this person to this person to this person. And maybe he just has like a really weird personality that nobody can get it along with, or maybe, you know, but I'm like, what, this is 4 marriages down. After a while, you have to wonder who's the problem in these situations. So that power dynamic of being the self-indulgent with this high temperament, and then it go as far as to post legal issues regarding his ex-wife and their daughter, paints a picture of abuse, spouse dominance, absolutely, and temperament. I can definitely hear Chris being one of those, you better get that kid to bed or else. Like, I've been working all night. Like, I'm coming home tomorrow. When I come home tomorrow, like, there better not be, like, I can hear, like, that tone coming from him. Like, you know, and the thing that scares me is the or else. It's hard not to think that he is taunting every time he says something to us. It's always something that counteracts, whether it's a comment that he's made in public domains or alleged text messages regarding Sebastian sent to Seth in a threatening way. And this is what I mean by new danger dynamics. As time goes on, more personal and family things are being discovered about the Rogers family, about the Proudfoot family, about the Bowersox, about the guys, about, you know, Katie Payne / you know, we have Nina and, you know, her testimony and her story. And this is what I mean by new dangers, is Chris Proudfoot texted to Seth, or maybe he called, but regardless, it boiled down to that they were not going to find him and that he needed to quit stirring up trouble, because if the public knew the truth about Sebastian, they would not look for him. He also used this excuse as to why he did not want his daughter around Sebastian. It looks to me that Sebastian was just in the way. It didn't work with this, it didn't work with that, and now it's gotten to where these Nobody should ever say something like that. Ever. Your child was abused. So the public is gonna think he's a monster and not look for him. The reason it doesn't make sense is because, once again, our brains are not wired to think this is normal behavior. It simply isn't. These are not normal things that you say. If your child is missing, even your stepchild, okay? Now, actions speak really loud. And all I'm hearing is a bunch of this, and I'm not seeing any action on the Proudfoots now. Apparently Katie is back home as I record this. She is back at Stafford Court. I believe Chris is still in Yogi Park. They supposedly have been putting up flyers and stuff like that. What I find a little concerning about that is that they removed the magnetic flyers from all of their vehicles and their toys and their load up gear boxes and what have yous. And also the note on the door, that has bothered me since day one that they started leaving camp. Whenever it was about a month ago. Oh my, I cannot believe it has been this long. The child that pulled the best magic trick in the world just vanished into thin air. I've said it from the beginning. The sole reason that I report on things is to continue to bring awareness, to continue to allow people to know what's going on, and also to be a part of my community and be able to do little craft things and little, get-togethers and Zooms and be able to coordinate these events, whether it be for missing children or for doing foster children roundups or doing donation bags for foster children, like duffel bag donations and teacher supply donations, just all of that stuff, and it brings me a lot of joy to be able to give back. And at the end of the day, despite all of the characters, despite the PIs, despite the new investigators, the new PIs, yeah, I've got pretty much everything covered here. There is a comment that I do need to get to. It is on the Dear Katie Proudfoot video. I will get back to Robin. You commented there. I will get back to you. I did get some information about what you were talking about, but I completely dropped the ball last night, so I apologize in advance for the late upload. So with that said, I'm going to close. It's at about 18 minutes. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember to always, if you hear something, if you see something, say something. If you hear something or you overheard something and you're scared, call in an anonymous tip. Call someone, confide in somebody that and let that information. Every bit of information is imperative at this point because we have nothing. Okay, we were extremely excited about a pair of glasses that had sat on the sidewalk for 6 weeks. And then we started wondering, maybe not sunglasses, eyeglasses, the Nautica brand glasses, which were determined not to be Sebastian's. However, that crumb of information of, is it possible? So, we're going back to the beginning every day, and it's impertinent, it's imperative, and it is extremely valid that we focus on keeping Sebastian in the news, keep the public pressure on our local enforcers, our commissioners, to make change truly happen, you really have to get in your community and, go to a town hall meeting, go to your chamber of commerce and, see what's going on, see, what's happening. There are so many different things that you can do to help advocate and promote all different types of different resources, whether it's helping to find missing persons, to volunteering to read, to schools, to doing backpack events and fundraisers and community, these gatherings where like we stuff backpacks or we stuff, new clothes, new toiletries for foster children who aren't gonna get, they live out of trash bags. So we're able to get these like really awesome totes. Everybody chips in and paints them and everything, and we make it a really good experience. All of those things are reasons why I do what I do. And while my channel is mainly for my business, it is just another way for me to kind of take things more on a serious note, kind of chillax a little bit, and just kind of come and talk to you guys like I would talk to you at one of my couch runs or something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this update. I apologize for the length. I do hope it was a little bit more concise. If you have any questions for me, please drop them down below. Remember, this is not monetized or anything like that. I will be doing the pin makeups and everything like that, so stay tuned. Hit the buttons if you want to, and if not, that's fine also. This is a safe place, okay? We do not condone a lot of stupid things. We're just not going to condone them. And I probably should just like spare saying all of that, because you're, feeding the trolls, so to speak. But it won't be tolerated here. We do way too much for the people in our community and the people who call RAIN and the people who call domestic violence hotlines, that we volunteer on the other end of those lines. So no, we're not going to allow that. You can make your opinions and your assumptions about me all you want. I'm a big girl, and put on my big girl underpants, and I move on with my day. But there are things going on in people's life, yours and mine included, that we don't know anything about. And there may be something going on in somebody's life in these comments that are actually here for it. Not to pass judgment, not to go for like the most, I don't know. I'm a very expressive person. What is frustrating is how still I'm having to be and mute myself, because I demonstrate with my hands, I get my point across, I make weird faces, I do things like that. So this is very unnatural feeling. So if it feels a little unnatural to you, it's because I'm trying to take myself a little bit more seriously, and I still haven't finished my studio, but Rome wasn't built in a day either. So be kind. There's no reason to add more negativity to the world. We already have enough of that. And if you're going to troll somebody who is just actively participating and engaging in community activities, and the biggest thing that you can get out of your day is to come on and talk about how they look, you have way too much time on your hands. And this is my channel, so I can say that. And that was my little, like, smirk for the time being. Alright, guys, thank you so much for being here with me. Hope I delivered some good information. I will have another update with you guys tomorrow after I have my doctor's appointment and everything else. And we will also be kind of unveiling the new backdrop. So we're excited about that. Peace, love, and infinite thanks. You guys take care of each other. Make sure that you tell your loved ones anytime that you can that you love them. Say hi to people whenever you can, because one day they're here and the next day they're gone. This is Shauna with Just the Facts. Have a good day. Buckle up, drive safe.